Hi, it is becoming winter and you want to serve your family a very hearty breakfast. Now this meal you can serve at lunch or dinner as well. Stay tuned, this is Eating Sharp. Hi, welcome back. I'm Chef Lynn, and on today's show it is going to be biscuits and gravy, and that's right, we are going to make biscuits from scratch and also the sausage gravy. So to start with, I have about a pound of sausage here. I'm going to go ahead and brown up in my pan. I've got the pan already hot, ready to go. So let me get this started to brown up and I'll meet you right back here. Hi, welcome back. I've got the sausage browned up, and now I'm going to add 2 to 4 tablespoons of butter, however much you would like, depending on how much fat you get rendered out of your sausage. So we're going to go ahead and melt this butter right in here, and once it's melted in, I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of flour. So let me get to that point and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I browned up the flour here just a little bit, probably about 4 to 5 minutes, stirring and cooking it as we went. Now I've got, I also added just a little bit more flour because you want that flour to soak up the grease. You don't want it really dry, but you want it in a pasty way that you saw in the picture. So I did have to add a little more flour, and it all depends on how much butter and how much fat content is in your sausage. So to this, after I've cooked it down a little bit, I'm going to add 2 cups of water, and I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. Now I like half and half. It just gives it a nice richer flavor, but you can go ahead and use 2% skim and even whole milk. So now I'm going to just cook this down and it'll thicken up. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and taste it for salt content. Okay, it needs a little salt. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And we'll just let that swim around in there. And as this cooks, it'll thicken up. So until then, you guys take a break and we'll be right back. See, it's getting a little thicker now. We're going to go a little bit longer and then taste again and adjust the salt and pepper. Hi, welcome back. I added another 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I also added 2 more 1/4 teaspoons of pepper. So I have a teaspoon and 1/4 of, or excuse me, 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper in here. Now you can see the consistency is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off the burner. The creaminess and the taste of the sausage is really delicious. So now I'm going to get set up. We'll make our biscuits and then we'll be able to serve this biscuit and gravy breakfast. Be right back. Hi, welcome back. Now we're going to make the biscuits for the biscuit and gravy. I have the gravy here staying warm. And while we do this, we want to turn our our oven on to 375. Now this part, you want to make sure you don't overmix your biscuits or overmix the gluten, because that'll make your biscuit tough and it won't be worth serving. It'll be like a hockey puck. Now I've got 2 cups of flour in here, and by using the whisk, I do not have to use the sifter. I can just use the whisk and it'll make it just like it's sifted. Now I have a teaspoon of sugar we're going to add to this. I have 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to add right into there as well. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure that that baking powder is all incorporated into the flour. Now it's really best if you chill your butter. So I cut my 1/2 cup of butter into small cubes, and then I put it back in the fridge to get it nice and cold. It's important that you have it nice and cold because You don't want it to melt. What happens is the butter forms pockets in the biscuits when it's baking, and it helps it to rise from the steam. Now there's several ways you can incorporate the butter into the flour. Grandma used to use 2-knife method and would cut the butter in with 2 knives. My mother uses a pastry cutter. It's one of these things. Or if you have a food processor, you can put it into your food processor and pulse it 10 times and it'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the butter right into the flour, and you can see I have my nice stabilizer here, so I can do this one-handed and the bowl will not move around on the table for me. This will take a few minutes to do. You'll want it to be a little crummy, almost like a coarse crumb when you do this, and then you'll know that your flour and your butter is all perfect. Now sometimes in between you'll want to go ahead and cut off this butter that will build up onto your pastry cutter, and that's okay. Just go ahead and cut it off like that and then finish it up. And you'll want them to be about pea size. If you do them a little smaller, you'll get a different type of biscuit. I like it when it's about the butter is about a pea size. Okay, that looks pretty good. Cut it off, get the butter out of the tongs here, the little slices there. And yeah, you can really feel the butter, and you can feel the size of the butter as well. Okay, to this I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. And you just go ahead and add it in here. And this is where you really want to use your hands. You could use a spatula or a big spoon to go ahead and incorporate it. You can start it with the spoon. You just want to fold the liquid in to just moisten the flour. You don't want to overwork it. Just want to moisten all the flour, and you can see that it's starting to come together. So we get it just moistened, okay? Then, yeah, that is perfect. It's not really sticking to my hands, and it's all moistened together. Okay, so you can see that it is all mixed together here. The flour is all moistened, and you can see the chunks of butter. So now we're going to put it right out onto the table. And you don't want very much flour. Just enough that it's not going to stick. So we'll go ahead and pull this right out of here, right on to the flour. I might even have to use my hands to get all of that out of there. Just like that. Okay, and you'll start to form the biscuits. Maybe a little bit more flour underneath if it's a little too wet. And you'll just form them about 1 inch, 1.5 inches tall. Now if you do them square, you can cut them into squares and you'll have none left over. Or you can make it round. I'm going to go ahead and make it square. And we're going to have some nice square biscuits here. And just pat it till it's about 1 inch, 1.5 inches tall. Just like that. Okay? A little bit more flour, just a touch. Okay? Then I'm going to take my pizza cutter and I'm going to do it into half. And I'm going to do 3 across. So I have 1 here and 1 here like this. This will give me 6 nice biscuits. Now we're going to go ahead and place them right on the parchment paper like this. Now some people like to place their biscuits apart, and some people like to put them together. If you are going to put them together, you want to put them together so that the outside edges are touching each other. And what that does is it doesn't have room for the steam to escape, and so you'll get a higher biscuit. But that's okay. We're just going to leave mine separate like this. Now they go into a 375 oven for about 20 minutes. So when this gets up to temperature, I'll go ahead and put those right in and we'll see them right when they come out. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We still got the biscuits in the oven. They still have a few minutes to go, but I wanted to let you know that at the time that you add the milk into the flour and the butter, you can add in your herbs if you would like. Let's say some dill or some cheese or some jalapenos, diced up jalapenos or diced up onions, and this way you can make your biscuits even more savory. Now if you don't do that, when you go ahead and get them onto the tray, if you brush them with a little butter or egg, in my case I used a little milk and they'll brown up really nice, but after you put that on top, you can sprinkle some sugar onto there and you'll make a biscuit that's a little more sweet if you are making biscuits for like strawberry shortcake or a berry compote shortcake. So let's wait for these biscuits to be done and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. The biscuits are out of the oven. As you can see, they're nice and golden brown on the bottom. They've got a nice shine and lightly brown on top, and they just pull right apart just like that. You can pull another piece off here like this. Let's taste this. It's gonna be hot. That is light and fluffy, buttery. That's gonna be good with the gravy. So let's go ahead and put a little gravy on here and see how that's going to taste for our family for breakfast. It smells wonderful. This biscuit is flaky. There's a nice crunch from the biscuit. It's light and fluffy. The sausage flavor is coming through. The richness of the cream is there. This is going to be a really hearty and quick breakfast that you can serve for lunch or dinner anytime. So until next time, this is Lynn Sharp with Eating Sharp, and remember, it's all about the food. Bye-bye. Let's have another taste. Wow. You could put butter and jam on these and just eat them in place of rolls for Thanksgiving dinner. Another tip. Bye-bye.